We are back with even more from Ivy Tech. You're wearing the green. You're proud of your roots.
Of course.
Can you introduce yourself, sir?
My name's Ken Parry. I work for Ivy Tech Corporate College, and most of my job is to work with companies on specialized training needs.
Mm-hmm. And we hear a lot about the skills gap. Can we talk a little bit about that?
You know, just as Mike Ernie was in here earlier in the day, he talked about the sophistication level of automobiles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same thing has happened in manufacturing. The days of just laborers in factories aren't as prevalent as it was. The sophistication level of the equipment with the computer-controlled machines, the robotics, the integration of automation, the skill level required to function in that environment is a lot different than it used to be. And the skill gap really is defined as what an employer needs for worker skills and what is the ability of the workforce to fill those gaps. A lot of people don't know that manufacturing is alive and very viable and growing in Indiana. Right
and
now,
not just in the automotive industry as well.
It's really, there's a level of advanced manufacturing which automotive falls into, like your GMs, Chryslers, Subarus, Toyota, Honda, and people probably don't know Rolls-Royce is in Indianapolis. That they're not necessarily looking for the low laborer jobs, they're looking for a mid-skill level position. And advanced manufacturing employs well over 500,000 workers in Indiana, and it's really about 16% of the workforce.
Wow.
It's not a small chunk change, you know. So, and if you really think about it, advanced manufacturing, because of that, drives the economy.
What's available here locally in our manufacturing?
There's well, it's been in your paper, it's been in the other local paper, but obviously there's expansion going on in both Howard County and in Tipton County.
Right.
There's quite a few jobs available.
And the acquisition of that building
in Tipton is adding quite a few more jobs, but it's just not in Howard County. It's pretty much in our region, which goes from Tipton up to Winnemac and as far west as Wabash. Companies are looking to grow, but part of their issue is getting a skill set of a worker coming in. And it's, there's another slide that we had. There's for every 100 entry-level laborer jobs, there's 125 people available at the low skill level. And at the mid-skill level, for every 100 jobs available, there's only 80 workers.
Wow.
So if you were looking to get into the workforce, do you want to compete with roughly 1 in 5, or do you want to maybe go where there's a gap and get yourself some skill levels that could possibly get you good employment?
So let's break that down a little bit. There's a difference. You hear about the economy slowing down, you hear about recession, you hear about all of this stuff, the downturn. But in actuality, if you have the skills necessary, you can basically...
There are jobs.
Yeah.
There are jobs. When you look at the different levels of, you know, when you talk about the entry-level laborer, that's pretty much anybody can do. But some of the major skills companies are looking for is be able to, a CNC operator, which is computer numerically controlled operator. They're looking for welders. There's a company in Cass County could employ 150 more people and expand their business accordingly if they could get qualified welders.
And is that the critical job needs?
That's part of the critical job needs. There's more to it than that, but that's probably in our area. It's about CNC operators and welders mostly.
And what can a student or what can an aspiring student do to be prepared for those jobs?
Well, part of it is there's an individual responsibility. Understand what's available in the workforce. A lot of people don't. You know, the days of giving jobs aren't necessarily there. And it's about what workers need to do is research what jobs are available. What can they do to improve their skills to meet those job requirements?
And do you partner with these students who maybe don't necessarily know or even thought about welding before? Can they come to you and say, look?
We can talk to them and say, look, you know, if you're looking, what are you looking for? You know, here are jobs available. Would you be interested in trying that? And people need to understand getting into the workforce isn't going to be what they do for the rest of their life.
Right.
Many companies have promotional paths from within. And some companies even have tuition assistance and promote to have their workers go get college degrees.
That training.
You know, and it's about improving themselves. There's a lot available.
Great. We'll be right back right after this quick break with more.
I'm not talking to
We are back, and we are talking student preparedness. What else do they need to do?
Well, if you understand what's out there, you can go look and see what skills you need to require. Ivy Tech can help with that. But really importantly, it's also understanding there are soft skills that you require when you're on the job. Things like communicating effectively, working with other people, being a team player, providing the quote unquote a good day's work for a good day's pay.
Sure.
And just as importantly, people need to understand their time requirements. You need to be on the job every day on time, and come to work every day. And
it
just,
sounds simple, but it's really not as simple as it seems
no,
to be.
it isn't. And part of understanding what do employers require. I mean, you got to be able to pass the drug test.
Right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate. I mean, most employers in my day, they used to give you the drug test when they were ready for you to offer you a position.
Sure.
Now it's all done up front, and it's part of the screening process. Plus, they do criminal background checks. So people need to just understand there's more to getting into the workforce than just applying for a job.
What else does the college serve to offer and assist for training for the workforce in general?
Well, if you look at like entry-level positions, okay, we have what we call a certified production technician. It's a nationally recognized certification, and it deals with entry-level, like it gives people an understanding of what is a manufacturing process, what is quality, gives you a background on maintenance, what maintenance is required on equipment, and just as importantly, it teaches them about safety, how to work safely in an environment. I mean, anybody that goes to work in a manufacturer, any place, should leave in the same shape they showed up in.
It sounds reasonable.
I mean, safety is really is forefront in most companies in manufacturing. Safety is, it is really critical that people be safe on the job.
I think that kind of piggybacks my next question. What does the corporate college actually offer for those who are entering versus those who are actually working right now?
The CPT is a entry-level credential. We also offer some introduction to welding training. We offer the NIMS, the CNC, it's called NIMS, the National Institute of Manufacturing. We offer a CNC operator certification in mills and lathes. That is a nationally recognized certification. And people need to, and it is an entry level. People need to understand that these certifications are nationally recognized, and if they leave those companies, it's still theirs. It's sort of like having a degree. It's something nobody can take from you.
What else can they do, I guess, now that they know all about this stuff? How can they get in contact with you or even a business?
Get a hold of Ivy Tech Corporate College. We're area code 765-459-0561. My extension's 287. I'd be glad to talk to anybody about it that's interested in any of this. And the other thing that we do also do, I didn't want to say do, we also provide training for companies. And part of what we do at corporate college is provide customized training for companies. Our biggest employer in this county, we designed, developed with their approval, an operator robotics class that we're currently teaching for them. And we've put about 30 of their...
Here in Kokomo?
In Kokomo.
That's amazing.
We have a pretty well set up industrial lab on our campus, and we actually have 7 robots that we teach people how to use versus on the factory floor. It's a lot better for them to make a mistake on our robots than it is in the manufacturing process, which gets very expensive.
Sure. And if you could, lastly, if you could just take a couple of minutes here and just talk to somebody like they were interested in joining the corporate college, what would you say to somebody who is just thinking of joining that workforce or joining that field?
I would ask you, Chad, what are you interested in? There are jobs in manufacturing. There are entry-level jobs. What do you see yourself doing? And we'd also talk about, this is a stepping stone for you to get into the workforce and maybe provide an avenue to improve yourself as you go. And it's really about what people are looking to do.
Kind of what Amy talked about.
Yes.
What can you see yourself doing for the rest of your life, and not skipping to work, but at least enjoying it day to day?
I worked 20 years at Chrysler. I'm a retiree from Chrysler, and the beauty of what I did at Chrysler was I never had a job on average more than 18 months. within the company, I moved all over the place and had a lot of different jobs. So I was always able to change what I was doing and improve myself within the company. There's, you know, it's not necessarily what you start out doing, is where do you see yourself going?
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals in life? You know, everybody wants to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think corporate college could help people towards getting into the workforce to meet those goals.
Mm-hmm. And genuinely, everybody talks about making money, but it's really more than that. It's creating that lifestyle and giving you that American dream.
Which hopefully is still alive.
Oh, I think it is. There's a lot of interesting and new things happening all over this community, and it's a great place to live and work. And that's why Ivy Tech, right on the forefront of everything that's going on, the technology. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Well, thanks for having me.
You guys have a lot of exciting things in the robotics. I mean, if people could just take a look at that and see what's going on, they'd be amazed. We'll be right back.